Hello, welcome in. Hope you're all doing well. What day is it? Is it Tuesday? It's Tuesday. Happy Tuesday, everyone. There's the tail end of a dog. There we go, there's the rest of the dog. It's saying that my connection is unstable. I don't know whether that is true. I don't know whether it's coming through okay at your end through the live stream, but it might be a symptom of the weather that we're having at the moment, because it's very windy where I am at the moment. So, stream same day each week. What day is it? Never change. I'll never change. It's a lie. Change is always going to happen. Change is always going to happen. Change is always good. Don't worry. Right, okay, so what are we doing today? We are continuing painting the models for Salute, which is in a worryingly few amount of months. I'm not panicked yet. I will be panicked at some point in the future, but not yet. So we've done the unit of 10 blunderbusses, and I've got a unit of 10 warriors that we're going to start, and it's going to be exactly the same kind of scheme. It's not going to be very exciting, but if you want to come and hang out, watch some chilled out painting with some nice relaxing music, and listen to me waffle on about what's happening in the world, and also a dog, cute dog. There you go. What more could you want in the world? Right, so we're going to start off with some blood red. We're not going to batch paint everything. I'll probably do what I did last time, and do 2 at a time. Just because then it's a little bit more interesting to watch, and it's a little bit more interesting for me as well. So let's get a little bit of that on the palette, and I've actually started to paint with Speedpaints with a much smaller brush. It's probably because I'm working on more detailed models, but I found painting with Speedpaints with a small brush actually quite satisfying. You have a little bit more control over it. I found that out on the recent Space Marine tutorials over on Patreon. What a segue that was. What a segue. Merlin, you're in chat. How are you, my friend? If you're watching this as a VOD, then I thank you very much for clicking on the video. I hope you enjoy the content. And we're just going to do all of the kind of armour plating in blood red, which is a speed paint. Army paint is speed paint, and it's one of my favourites. I'm not gonna lie, I just finished up a Blood Angel tutorial which used this paint in conjunction. Actually, I've dry brushed silver, but it's pretty much the same technique. I'm really getting into painting a grey, this Gravelord grey, over the white undercoat, to give me this kind of head start on shading. I feel like it's working quite well with especially armoured, like heavily armoured models like Space Marines. I'm going to start toying around with other kind of base coats before I start throwing in some colour. I want to see what other things I can do. I want to do an Imperial Fist, but maybe start with a pink speed paint base tone and see what happens essentially. Maybe throw some familiar pink in there and then hit the yellow afterwards. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Oh, are you building a computer, Merlin? Oh no, is this for the original Xbox? Is it an Xbox that you're working on? I can't remember the console. Forgive me. Right. So we've got the main armor parts going red, and then all the details will be going gold, and we'll be using not ancient honey. Where is it? It's somewhere. It's somewhere here. Zealot yellow, which is essentially Army Painter's version of Nazdrag yellow from Citadel, and it does exactly the same thing. It's great. It's cold though. Got wood on fire. Yeah, it's a little chilly, isn't it, mate? We've got a biting wind. Well, I mean, you're right on the coast as well, but actually, you're more on the coast than I am. But I'm at the top of a hill in the centre of Cornwall, and yeah, it's a bit of a biting wind at the moment. It's not very pleasant. I'm very much looking forward to a nice Cornish summer. I go down the beach. I had a fantastic time the other night, the other evening, playing bolt action for the first time. Like properly playing bolt action for the first time in at a local club called Roll the Dice, and we've got an escalation league going on at the moment. So we're all on the same kind of learning together, and no one's seeing it as a competitive thing, which is great. And everyone's approaching it in the same kind of mindset of just having fun, just getting together, rolling some dice, and I'm absolutely loving the vibes in that club. But it does mean I have well and truly fallen down the bolt action rabbit hole. And I ended up printing out some artillery today. And getting those ready for painting. I was totally being productive for a work week or a work day. Yeah, it's content. It still counts as work. So we're being relatively careful with the paint. We're not splashing it around because there are some sections on here that I don't really fancy going back and touching up. So I'll be as careful as I can. Especially since touching up means, since I put the silver dry brush on, it means multiple steps of touching up. I ain't got the time for that. So we'll just go in with a little bit of care. Munchie! Hey Munchie! Speaking of bolt action, I was just talking about the evening the other night. Oh, I found one of your, I don't know whether Dave has told you, but I found one of your home guard sitting next to a tree after you'd left, but they're holding on to it for you. I'm assuming it was yours. It looked like one of yours. Okay, right, so I think the detailing on the shield's going to go gold. Let me just angle the camera a little bit. There we go, that's better. But the main... Oh, do I do a black shield? Black shield would be quite cool, actually. Because the banners are going black. and there's a lot of red, so maybe black and gold on the shield. Yeah, I like that. Was it a cricket guy in a uniform? Uniform, I think. Yeah, it wasn't one of the cricket guys. Yeah, it was a uniform guy. But I don't know whether it was one of the Dad's Army models. But it definitely had the kind of old metal vibe to it. But yeah. Yeah, I when we were packing up all the terrain, he almost went in the train box. I might go and grab my my recent 3D prints in a second, because they're really cool. They came out really nicely. There's a little bit of artillery that I'll be using for the next session, which there is only one model for it that Warlord do, and it's a web store only model, and it's the old metal bits, and I'm not massive on the older metal models. It seems like it's quite an obscure piece of artillery, but I managed to find just the artillery piece on a 3D print website for historicals, and I found some models that would, they kind of act as crew from another artillery piece, and put them together, and it works. It kind of works. Oh, it's right. Oh, from Dad's Army is one of those. Okay. Right. Red shield? No, I like the idea of a black shield. Right. I'll do... I might just dive from red to gold very quickly, actually. Yeah. Just wash this brush off properly. Use Zealot Yellow on the details, and it will tint the grey and silver into gold. I absolutely love tinting with Speedpaints. Incredibly satisfying. How do you find it? I really enjoyed it. Any ideas what you're going to go for to make up 350? Oh, mate, I've got my 1,000-point list written up. I changed it yesterday, but I'm sorted, mate. I absolutely loved it. I absolutely loved it. I was really. I'm not gonna lie. I'm very, very particular with who I play war games with. From a kind of social anxiety point of view, and also like I actively don't like the competitive wargaming scene, so I'm using this as a kind of like, let's meet new people, but also, force myself to play games with new people as well. And I was really relieved and really happy with kind of everyone's attitudes towards the game, as in we're all there just to have fun and roll dice, rather than I'm going to make the most disgusting net list ever and play it like a tournament. Because as soon as games go down the tournament route, I just walk away. I'm out. So it was really nice to just people all at the same level, just having a bit of fun. But yeah, and I know it's a historical war game, but I'm seeing it as, I want to take that model because it's in the army. It might not be exactly in that theatre of war at that particular time. It's fine. It's a game. Much the same that way. Not competitive in the slightest. I was wearing loops all night due to anxiety. Fair. They're all a nice bunch. So yeah. They really are. I'm really looking forward to the rest of it. In regards to what I'm taking next, I'll show you. I'm going to take a medic, a little medic team, And then originally I was just going to take 2 light mortars, which brought me up to points. But I wanted something a little different. And then I found what was it? You can upgrade, not a mortar, it's you can upgrade something else. Oh, an anti-tank gun. You can upgrade an anti-tank gun to something called the Blacker Bombard, which I had no idea that existed. And did a little bit of research, found some models, and where is it? Hang on. I made, or I 3D printed, a little Blackguard Bombard team, which is great. So I found these on that 3D printing shop historical thing. So that and a medic team are going to bring me up to 350. And this is, I think, for session 4 or 5. 4. Yeah, medium anti-tank gun. Oh yeah. Really enjoy this kit. This kit's great. Oh, it's slightly aiming down a little bit. That's annoying. Oh well, that's fine. Is that 17? I wasn't. I think it's a 17 pounder. Yeah. That, which is medium. I'm using it as a medium. Oh, that's a Twitch Prime sub. Thank you very much, Hudson. Much appreciated. So yeah, I've been putting those together. There's a slight scale difference in the print, or like a slight style difference, but you're always going to get that from multiple sources. They're more or less the right scale. And all magpies ready for painting. Happy days. Debating snipers, vet, or a 5-man commando squad with 2 vicars because they have the 5 shots. Yeah, I've got some SAS later down the line. I think for session 5, I'm adding some SAS in. Hey, Berserk! Thank you very much for the hydrate. Blackguard is the Bombard. Is a home guard weapon. Last black power weapon used in wartime. Ah, okay, yeah. I saw something about it being phased out. Jesus, what's happening?
2 whole years.
Hey, Berserk! Thank you very much for the 2-year resub. Berserk, thank you. That's incredibly kind. How you doing? I don't know why things are coming through doubly. I'm not sure. Oh, I know why. Because I've got it going through YouTube as well. No, I don't. Intriguing. Okay, absolutely no clue. No idea why that's happening. No idea. Seen the Smith guns yet? No. What are the Smith guns? We'll absolutely be having a Vickers in the SAS squad. It's going to be a very expensive. I think there's only 7 of them in the squad, but it's like 180 points because I've just upgraded them. I wanted an elite unit. Hudson, cheers for the Blood Angel guy, dude. Oh, awesome. Wait, is that? I don't know. I'm not sure whether Hudson is the person I actually know or someone else who's also on the Patreon. I don't want to say a name just in case. Oh, okay. Yep. Brilliant. No, I'm glad you liked it. I was I kind of want to do one of each of the main chapters. So yeah, I'm glad that someone was like, yes, please do Blood Angels. Cool. Okay, that's next then. And someone's requested salamanders, And there's another one. They put it on the Patreon on a comment. I can't remember what the other one is, but I will. It's been added to the list. Berserk. I'm good. Just got done doing some Necromunda stuff minus my freehand stuff I've played. Ooh, what's the freehand stuff? Is it Space Sharks? Or if you put the Space Sharks to one side? Smith guns were toe-long artillery that were so unreliable. They used one in Dad's Army firing onions from it. Fantastic. God, I need to go and watch Dad's Army again. Used to have to topple them upright to fire them and back again to tow them. Oh, wow. Okay, yeah. I'm going to stick with my 17-pounder. I might have to snap that off and just angle it up a little bit. I didn't realise it was angled down so much. Do I do the spike gold as well? Yes. Hudson, the PDF guide for that video will be going out. I mean, if you follow videos, then there's not going to be much difference between that and the guide. But some people learn differently, so I like to do both. And if there are any other requests for people who are in the Patreon for models they'd like or paint schemes they'd like to see, then please let me know. I am open to all sorts of colour schemes and suggestions. Vanessa, hey! Over on YouTube, how's it going? Look at me catching you, yeah! Look at you over on the YouTube side of things. I'm streaming, so just in case anyone's like, what's happening? I'm streaming at Twitch, I'm streaming on YouTube at the same time, because it saves me uploading to YouTube. Right, so that is all the gold. I'm gonna do the shields black. I might do that now actually, just to double check, just to make sure. What are we gonna do that with? We're gonna do it with. What did I do there? I'm gonna do it with Black Legion. Black Templar. Yeah, that. There we go. Sharks on the side at the moment. These are for Palanite Enforcers doing cracked LCD screen freehand soon on them. Nice. Okay, cool. Happy using both vid and PDF. Nice to read the PDF and see how you do it. Yeah, there you go. I'd like to give people the option. But thank you very much for the support as well on Patreon. I'm really hoping this year. Well, the plan is this year for the Patreon to become my main job, and cover me financially, and it seems to be on track doing so. Which is very exciting, very, very exciting, because the long-term goal, and I think I mentioned this on stream 2 weeks ago, possibly, I don't know. The long-term goal is for me to go and rent a studio, because I'd like to separate work and life a little bit, and I paint in what is my living room, which is one of two rooms that I have to myself in this house. So I kind of want a little bit of separation. So if I can get the Patreon to the point where it's supporting me and I can afford to rent a small space, doesn't need to be a massive place. There's an artist studio complex down the road from me, and I'd love a space down there. I was watching the latest episode of Critical Role, which I think you introduced me back in the day, so I'm just rolling back to you now. Did I introduce you to... I don't think I introduced you to Critical Role. I mean, I've done it in passing. I've never really watched it. I'm familiar with it and familiar with the characters. That being said, if you like Critical Role, then can highly recommend Legend of Vox Machina on Patreon. Not Patreon, sorry. Amazon Prime, if you haven't seen it already. It's very good. It's the animated version of the season 1 and 2. Hudson, been lurking on Patreon for a while, thought I'd actually make use of it. Hey, no, I really appreciate it. every time someone kind of joins, I do a little happy dance, and it's getting closer and closer to real happy dance times. So yay! Right, I think that's where I'm going to get as many of them up to, because things like the face and the beard and the skull, that's more details, and the cloth. So let's aim for the red, the gold, and the black on the shield for as many as I can today, because otherwise I'm diving between too many colours really. Delicious in Dungeon. Yes, Delicious in Dungeon is absolutely fantastic. It really is. It's very, very funny. Hurting from... I won't say that out loud, Vanessa. They'll be insulted. Favourite character on Vox Machina? Yeah, Grog and Scanlan are both very, very good. Vox... so from the animated show... yeah, probably the team up of Grog and what's Ashley's halfling paladin called? Pike. Yeah. So Grog and Pike. Oh, Vanessa is over here now. Yeah, Grog and Pike, both very, very good. Yes, you are, Vanessa. Yes, you are. How's the event organisation going? I'm more into Dungeon Daddies, which is another D&D podcast, but it's very loosely formed D&D. At the moment, the current season, they're not even playing D&D; they're playing Call of Cthulhu, which is very, very funny. And I saw them live over in Ireland a couple of months ago, or last year, October, I think. Yeah. Munchie, I've only seen the animated series, so I'm aware of various character deaths throughout the series, throughout the actual play. But if I ain't in the animated series, wait, was that? I can't remember. Vanessa, a bit frustrating at times, but coming to the end in less than 2 weeks. Yeah, organising events is always a stressful affair. Yes, Munchie, no spoilers, no spoilers. What do I think of season 2 of Daddies? I really enjoyed it. So season 2 of Daddies, I think season 1 overall, like, there wasn't a bad episode. For me, there wasn't a bad episode. Even with season 2, there wasn't a bad episode. But in season 2, there were definitely higher points and lower points. But when the high points hit, it really hit. Sometimes better than season 1. And then the lower points, it dipped. So it was a little bit like mountains and rivers, I guess. I don't know. Peaks and troughs. For season 2, whereas season 1 was more, I guess, reliably good would be a way of saying it. But I really enjoyed both of them, and I'm very much enjoying season 3. I support them on Patreon as well, so I get all the additional content, and I think one of their best ones they've done is Sons and Sensibility, which is a three-parter? Yeah, three-parter Jane Austen-esque role-playing game. And it was so good. So good. Season 2 is very condensed and changes a lot from the original campaign. Must have been tough. Sorry, season 2 of Daddies, or season 2 of Critical Role. Felt season 2 was good, but not great. There were some episodes on season 2 that had me crying with laughter. Like the Titanic episode is one of the best episodes they've done. So good, so good. But yeah, the overall, I think season 1 was better, but season 2 I still really enjoyed. And I won't go into detail for the Titanic episode if there are people who haven't seen it yet or listened to it, rather, because yeah, just fantastic. No spoilers, please. Behind on OBBH. Oh, Bell Hell's campaign, right? Yeah, Bell Hell's. Yeah, no. As a general rule in the chat for YouTube and Twitch, no spoilers for anything, because you never know who's listening, who's watching, or where they are at various things. Even if it's a very old series or something like that. Because I'm going through. I've started watching all the Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, and all that. Because I started it, but I never finished like all of it. So I just finished Jessica Jones season 1, and I'm currently going through the second half of season 2 of Daredevil. And I had no idea there's like 4 seasons of Daredevil and 3 of Jessica Jones and everything like that. Really enjoying it. I'm mainly watching because of the whole Daredevil Born Again series that's coming out very soon, so I'm trying to cram as much as I can before then. So these models, if anyone is going to salute in 2.5 months, oh god, 2.5 months, you'll see these at my stall, at my stand, my booth, whatever you want to call it. These are going to be advertising the print store, along with another small army and collection of models. And then the other part of it is going to be dedicated to just the Patreon and bits of art that I'm kind of just quite happy and proud, and will be for sale if the right buyer comes along. So my stall for Salute is a bit of a mixture of advertising the print shop, but also advertising painting in general and miniature art. Hellcat, hey, how's it going? Stopping by to see what you're doing. Currently working. Thank you very much for swinging by, Hellcat. Sorry, I've got 2 chats going at the moment, so I'm diving between the 2. I'm currently working on the Chaos Dwarf Warriors, the Demonsmith Warriors, for Salute. I hope you're having a lovely day, evening, morning, wherever you are in the world. Never watched campaign 1 or campaign 2, 3. What, of Critical Role? I tried, like, I've watched clips, and that's how I watch Critical Role, is just like the best of clips. I've really tried listening to it. I started with season 2, and I've really tried getting into it, but unfortunately the episodes are just so long, and they're more suited to watching rather than listening. that I just don't have the time to kind of invest in it. So that's why I go for Dungeon Daddies, because their episodes are shorter and they're more, well, they're set up for an audio based thing, so I can work or when I'm driving or something like that, I can listen to them. Vanessa, so how's business going with all the custom changes and all? What, with the EU? Yeah, I've definitely lost. I've definitely lost sales. For those of you who have been following my work or following the business in general for a while, you know that I'm quite open about how the business runs and everything like that. Yeah, no, I lost sales massively through, not massively, but noticeable through from not being able to trade with the EU, but not enough to make it worth paying out those extra things. I fell into that awkward gap. And for now, America sales are okay. I have no idea what that's going to do, what that's going to look like within the next 6 months. Who knows? Not wanting to get political, but who knows? So yeah, it's another reason why I'm looking to make Patreon the main part of my income over the next year, because I don't need to worry about shipping. I don't need to worry about having a space for the printers. I don't need to worry about exports and imports and buying in resin and packing material and storing stuff. It just condenses it down a lot, and frees up a room in the house as well. So yeah, it's going okay. It's as it has been for a while, where it keeps me afloat. Which speaking to other print, like small independent print companies, is pretty much the same with everyone, from what I gather. Like you get to a certain point, and then you can't really go past that for whatever reason. And there are different reasons for all sorts of people. Berserk, how are the brushes looking? Yeah, they're looking okay. There's this one, the main one that I was using for ages, that one started to struggle. But I've actually started using the smallest of the ones that you got me to do all of the work, unless it's a big section. I will need to invest at some point very soon to replace, or just get nicer newer ones. But fortunately, I've been working on smaller, detailed stuff, so I can just use the ones I've got. Size 0. Yeah, the size 0. Well, so the size 0, that it's absolutely fine as a brush, but actually with the 3.0 as well, when you start using too much speed paint, it frays really quickly. And you can still paint with it, but you struggle to do detail work. That's kind of why I'm using this is the 4.0, which is great. I love the 4.0. Really, I actually hadn't used it for a long time because it was so detailed, and now I'm seeing a lot of benefit to it. But overall, like the Raphael watercolor range was such a good it was a good gift. Thank you very much, Berserk. But it was such a great suggestion as well, because they take speed paints and contrast incredibly well. And it's perfect for my style of work. couple of weeks. No, no, you don't. That wasn't in any way a hint or anything like that. But thank you very much. That's incredibly kind. Correct, it was. Should you wish to do that, it would be greatly appreciated. Please don't, put yourself out or anything like that. I'm never gonna turn down, gifted brushes and paint. But thank you very much. That's your way of support. I know. I appreciate it. Thank you. Really enjoy it when it goes like that. When the grey that I've put down goes really dark, and then when you put over, it looks like it's unfortunate pooling, but when you put the gold over it, you get that gorgeous gradient. I really enjoy. So anything I ask when you get some free time is come over for a bit when I finally get my own place. Absolutely, mate. I can do that. I don't know how far away from you I am, but I'm sure we can make it happen at some point. You're very far away. Okay, maybe I'll tie it in with a holiday or something. To be fair, I'm very far away from most people. Right. Any more detail? Let's do the gold spike. Vanessa, if I send you paints, will you come to Canada? That's a bit further. I mean, I'd love to go to Canada. No, I'm no, not far from Munchie at all. Hilariously not far from Munchie. Hang on, I need to do the black. Oh no, I need to do the skull as well. I'd love to go to Canada though. Canada looks gorgeous. I can't remember exactly whereabouts in Canada you are, Vanessa, but yes, it is quite a large place. Right, let's add the black. Velpa Games, thank you for the follow. I can walk. There's large bodies of water that says I can't. Just for information, Aoki and I have met in real life before. Yeah, no, me and Berserk actually have met in real life. Berserk, what was the first thing that you said to me in real life? You're shorter than I thought you were. And I think you were the third person to say that to me on that day. Jesus can walk on water, why can't you? Because Jesus had hair. There you go. I think it was I thought you'd be taller. Yeah, it was something. It was something height related. Absolutely. Velpa Games, glad to be here. You gave me such a great suggestion for some brushes on TikTok, so I wanted to catch any stream to say thanks. Hey, I'm glad. Actually, these were the brushes. If you asked me, if anyone has asked me, first of all, thank you very much for coming over. I'm glad I could help. But if anyone asks me what brushes I use, it's these. It's the Raphael Water Kalinsky Hair watercolor series, and right now I'm using the 4-0, which is most the detailed one that I have. But a lot of the older videos I was using this one, the 0, which is, it's starting to look a little tired now, and this is after a good clean. So yeah, that's it. The Raphael 8404 range. Yeah, there you go, 8404. They're a little on the spendy side, but after using kind of GW and Army Painter brushes for years and years and years, I made the move into like proper Kolinsky Sable brushes. I started out with Winsor & Newton, and as soon as I tried them, I think it was the first. I remember it very clearly actually. The moment that I put the brush to the model, I was like, oh, I get it now. So in general brush kind of advice, sorry GW, but get away from GW brushes as quickly as you can. If that's where you started, move away from them. They are not very good. Apparently the masterclass ones are better, but meh. Army Painter's a good kind of budget range if you're trying to watch the pennies. Broken Toad were great. Unfortunately, they're out of business now, but Broken Toad were absolutely fantastic, and I'm really glad that I've got a couple of them. But at some point, I won't be able to use them anymore. But yeah, Berserk and a number of people put me onto Raphael, and Berserk very kindly bought me a set of Raphael brushes, and they are my go-to. They are fantastic. So, especially if you're working with a lot of washes and speed paints and contrast like I am, because the watercolor series, they're designed for watercolor paints, as in quite watery paints. So they hold a lot of paint in the body of the brush while maintaining a point, which is very, very useful. Hudson, you're not short. There were definitely shorter people around back in the day. Yeah, there were, but they also got taller, and I didn't. Hudson also knows me in real life. So I got some of those wolf brushes from Chronicle, which weren't black. Oh, I don't know those. I haven't heard of those. Hey, Velreth, how's it going? I remember that Alki was saying he needed new brushes on stream, and I told him that those were on the way. Yeah, it was like there and then. I was like, okay, cool. Yes, thank you. No, these are great. Really, really good. So can highly recommend. And that's not a sponsored whatever post or you know, however you want to read into it. That is just genuine. These are good brushes. Right. We're just gonna use red, do the red, gold, and black, because then I can do all the details off stream. And I've done 2 of them up to that point, and we're still under an hour, so hour into the stream. Fantastic. Should get another 3 done. There's 10 in total. Three, 4 years now. Yeah. No. Yeah, maybe 3. It's more like 2.5, 3 years I've had these brushes. So yeah, they're you know, they've done very well considering how much I paint, and considering how I paint. You know, with a lot of paint on the in the body of the brush, which, you know, the more paint you gets up into the ferrule, the quicker it will die. So all things considered, they've done incredibly well. Hey, awesome, Velreth. Yeah, you've been working on that quite a lot, haven't you? Was that my no issues so far? Yeah, I put mine through the paces. I mean, less so now that I'm painting for Patreon and painting for like tutorials rather than commission army stuff. So I'm not painting as many models in general, but yeah, they definitely get a decent amount of use. I'd like to draw all your attention to the cutest sleeping dog ever. Yeah, look at his little face. Look at his little face down there. Can anyone like double check or just tell me how's the stability of the stream? Because OBS is not OBS. Twitch is telling me it's unstable when it's been like that, but I haven't come across any issues. So I've no idea why it's done that. Nothing's changed in my settings. I apologise if it's stop-starty a little bit, but I don't think it is. Hopefully it isn't. Haven't noticed anything. Awesome, okay. Stream is stable, there's a little blurring. Oh, okay, cool. I think it might have something to do with the high winds that we've got in my area messing with things. So I've noticed it while I'm streaming TV. Occasionally it will stutter a little bit. I'm perfectly stable. No, the stream, not me. I'm not perfectly stable. As long as the stream is, it's fine. Yeah. Yeah, I was asking about the stream, not me. Show of hands in the chat. Who is going to Slough? Hudson, are you going to Slough? Berserk, are you able to make it? I don't know how far it is away from you. Well, it's London, so... Not planning on going, depends on work, etc. Fair enough. It's a very expensive time of the year because Games Expo is, I think, 2 weeks after, maybe? They're very, very close to each other. Sadly very busy these days. Fair enough, fair enough. Going to a murder and mystery in Sleuth. What? Help out at a gaming store that specialises in card games. Oh, cool, okay. What, Magic, Pokemon, that kind of thing. Sleuth. Okay, was I just slurring my words? Murder and mystery. Vanessa, what are you talking about? Has something been lost in translation? God, I want to watch that film again soon. Slurping your salute. It's not that kind of stream, Vanessa. It's not that kind of stream. It's not that platform. That's the OnlyFans content. Magic Pokemon Lorcana Flesh and Blood. Oh, I really want to give Lorcana a go. It's they play it in my new local group, and it does seem a lot of fun. But I do not need another card game to get involved in. I'm resisting the urge to buy more Bloomburrow boosters. aka the greatest set that has ever been created. What does sleuth mean? Sleuth, kind of investigator, I guess? Like a private investigator, sleuth, like investigating. They're playing that down roll the dice. What? Lorcana? Yeah. That's what I mean. Dave ran me through the kind of very basics of the rules, and it seems quite fun. I'm resisting the urge. So, murder and mystery, never mind. Oh! Yeah, alright, I get you. I'm with you, Vanessa. I thought you were genuinely asking what does sleuth mean. Okay, so 8 o'clock is going to be finished. Oh, is the gym going to be busy at 8? It probably is. Maybe a late night gym session. We're really getting into going to the gym at like 11:30, 12 o'clock at night, just because there's no one there and I've got the whole floor to myself. And it's very, very satisfying. I don't have to wait for any machines. I can just do any exercise I want in any order, and it's great. I found that using the interpolation to blend mode in Krita is like painting with contrast paints. I recognise the words contrast paints and painting in that Velreth. Apart from that, no idea what you're on about. I could bury myself in the ground. What, because you are just done with my inability to understand chat? That's fair, that's fair. Hudson, double check the dates. I'm going an event at Warhammer World this weekend. Okay, fair enough. That weekend, sorry, for the Salute weekend. Warhammer World? Why would you put on an event the same day as one of the largest tabletop events in Europe? You fools, Warhammer World, you fools. How can you roll out redeem? No, absolutely not. I do that at gym. I don't perform. I'm not a performing monkey anymore. Critter is an art package. Oh, okay, I see. Danny! Hey, Danny. Hey, Danny. How's it going, buddy? Right. That's all the red. Over to the yellow. To turn things gold. Very satisfying. How's it going? I'm tired, boss. You're always tired, but that's because you're always working. You know what's great having YouTube and Twitch at the same time is I still hear you through ads. Yeah, that's what, because you got YouTube Premium, or the ads just staggered, so one has an ad when the other one doesn't. Fortunately, a friend of mine gave me or put me on their YouTube Premium account, and I never thought I'd kind of give in and go, YouTube Premium is great, but not having ads on YouTube is really good. It's really good. Got Premium? Yeah. Yeah, it kind of is. Gotta get ready for work. Take care and stay safe, y'all. Be wild out there. It is wild out there. Berserk, thank you very much for swinging by. Thank you very much for the 2-year resub, even though I barely stream anymore. I stream every week, and that's only if I have things to paint, because I completely forgot to prepare anything last week. No, I didn't forget to prepare. I actively painted. I finished these like 2 hours before I was meant to stream, and then looked at them and went, it's a job well done. Crap, I don't have anything to paint now. That's why I wasn't on last week, because I painted what I planned to during the day and then had nothing else to paint because I'm a fool. And it's morally frowned upon, but I just use ad block. I mean, it's morally frowned upon just because people don't get the ad views, but on, like, I'm a YouTube partner. I technically get money from YouTube from ads, from viewership. I don't get anywhere near enough for me to, like, for it to make it worth it. That's why I'm not putting out as many YouTube videos and more focusing on Patreon now, just because financially it makes more sense. So I don't know, imagine watching 4 5-hour episodes of Critical Role with ads. Yeah, fair. Yeah. There's also check out Midnight Burger if you haven't already. Why do I recognise that? I recognise Midnight Burger. Is that a role-playing one? Is that Brennan Lee Mulligan one? I vaguely recognise Midnight Burger, and I don't know why. Not roleplay, it's Doctor Who S Story Podcast. Oh, that's why I recognise it. Right, okay. Someone has shown me Midnight Burger, and I didn't like it. I'm sorry. I tried. I couldn't get it. I couldn't get through the first episode. I struggled with the I struggled with the scripting, if I'm honest. Yeah, it had kind of Restaurant at the End of the Universe vibes to it, kind of Douglas Adams, which I really enjoy. I just couldn't get behind the scripting of the actual show, unfortunately. Oh, I'm painting the trophies. Yay, Danny, yay! So is that for a Blood Bowl tournament or something? YouTube is technically the most financially viable social media platform to work on, aka if you can make it big, you're laughing, unlike somewhere like TikTok where you just about scrape by. Oh, yeah, no, I absolutely agree. YouTube, from a from a social media point of view, is definitely, you can definitely make crazy money on YouTube. For what I'm doing, though, Patreon is the way to go. Definitely. But yes, when I was looking at how to generate an income through YouTube, once you get your views reliably up to a certain amount, you're absolutely laughing and you're rolling into it. Hudson, have a good one. Off to family stuff. Again, thanks to the Blood Angels Guide and introduced me to Speedpaints. No worries, Hudson. Thank you very much for the support. As always, lovely for you to pop by, and I'll see you again soon. And yeah, if there's any other guides that you want me to look at on the Patreon, just drop me a message. I'll add them to the list. Welcome to the Speedpaint world. So the NFL Fantasy League we're doing among a few friends. Oh, so not tabletop stuff. That's just what, fantasy football? For once, no. You should play fantasy with us next week. What, fantasy football? I have had offers to do a fantasy football league before. Unfortunately, it just doesn't interest me. I've looked into it before. Fantasy football, just watch American football like we're normal people. I tried getting into American football. I found it hard to keep up, and I'm not a big sports person. I'll out of all the sports that I'd watch, probably Formula 1, but I haven't watched that for years. Or MotoGP, more likely Formula 1. But yeah, I just I've tried going down the NFL route, and I enjoyed it while I watched a little bit of it when I was at drama school, but I struggled to keep up with it. Also struggled to find places to watch it at the time. And yeah, doing the whole fantasy football thing, just I've looked at it, I toyed with it, but it just doesn't do anything for me, unfortunately. Even though it's fair enough. Dishonor on you, dishonor on my cow. Consider my cow very dishonored. But yeah, I'm just not a big sports person. I haven't even watched wrestling for a while. I've just been doing other things. Brendan Lee Mulligan's Dimension 20. Yeah, I know it's Dimension 20. I know that there are other shows kind of formed off that, so I didn't know whether Midnight Burger was like one of the offshoots of that. Yeah. Also, I mean, they've done work with Critical Role as well, because there's crossovers now between the two. Best Lizard? I'm sorry, did you just say Mushu was better than Godzilla? Don't get me wrong, Mushu is boss, but by a lot, to be fair, that would be a crossover that I'd happily watch. Mushu versus Godzilla, because you know that Mushu would end up in a mech somehow. I don't know what. Yeah, it's okay to be wrong. Yeah, no, Mushu is pretty good. I want that crossover now. I want Mushu and Godzilla. Damn it, now I just want to watch Mulan. Mushu would flirt with Godzilla like Donkey and Dragon. Yeah. I can see it. I can see it. I watched that movie. I can guarantee you in some deepest, darkest corner of the web that movie already exists. There is a niche for everyone and everything. And I can guarantee you that Mushu and Godzilla One Night in the East exists. Right, red. Who wants to take the sound of Shrek movies and edit the Mushu and Godzilla meet cute? Yes. Totally. Totally. Who doesn't want to do that? I don't trust people who don't find that absolutely hilarious. I've got so many things to paint before salute. Got an entire diorama. I need to finish printing actually. I need more filament. Anyone got any spare filament? I'm out. I just put an order in for more resin today, but I need to wait on a couple more sales before I put some filament in. Put a filament order in. For those of you who don't know, I am turning my entire stool at Salute into a diorama. And to do that, I need a lot of filament. Bailey looks uncomfortable at that. Bailey looks uncomfortable at everything. Don't you? Don't you? Yeah, it's fine. You get people in the comments, they're from 2 different countries and era, blah, blah, blah. They are from fantastic pieces of cinema, and we're allowed that crossover. It's okay. How long till Salute? It is... I will tell you in a second. Let me just finish this. Helmet. 25th of April, I want to say. Hold on. Salute is on the 12th of April. So 1, 2, 2.5 months. Ah! Oh god. Hey Pearl Jam. Hey Nutella. Speak to 6+. You might have some you have then replaced. No, it's like it's all good. I only need. What do I need to print? I need to print about 2 kilograms worth, maybe a little less, and that's not too expensive. I like to buy it in bulk, so I get a discount. So yeah, I'll probably get it in the next week or so. English gentleman, almost forgot. One of my lovely friends is sending me a 3D printed Elite Dangerous ship. Ooh, I've never played Elite Dangerous. I'm familiar with it. Very cool, very nice. I have. Hang on, I will show you something in a second. So, before Salute, I need to finish this unit, a character, and a war machine, and then another army's worth. So, 2 units of 10, just a bit of gold. 2 units of 10, a character, and a war machine. It's probably going to be the orcs. And then I need to paint a load of stuff to actually go on the diorama, so a load of models, and everything in that box minus these. I don't need those, but everything in that box needs to get painted for Salute, plus 4 sewer sections, I want to say. A lot of that is going to be dry brushing and washing, but it's still quite a lot. No worries, Berserk. Take care. We'll see you soon. So yeah, quite a lot to do. But though that all that stuff in that box is going to go across the top of the cabinets in a 2-tiered sewer and then city diorama, essentially, and I need to paint all the models that go on that diorama. Some of which have been printed, some of which haven't. That's alongside doing all the day-to-day printing and Patreon stuff. Yay! It will be fine! So doing streams like this actually really help, because it means I have time. I have at least 2 hours a week that I can crack out the kind of standard models. But I'm going to need to do it a little bit more in the run up to it. Oh, I need to buy a banner as well. I need a new banner. Damn it. Sorry, I'm just thinking of all the things that I need to organise for Salute. I get 5 of these done? Oh, maybe 6 actually. Okay. Fortunately, because these are single piece models, they're quite simple to paint. There's not an overabundance of detail on them. You gotta love upscaled models. 2 stands of bust miniatures at LVO whose stuff got held at customs. Oh yeah, who was the company? Oh no, that wasn't LVO. I was thinking of somewhere else that had a load of stuff lost. For LVO, that sucks. Hey Vite, because LVO just happened, didn't it? So many companies that happens to. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm not going to be doing any overseas events, and I'm kind of just doing Salute because I want to. I don't know whether I actually get any sales from it. I'm not taking stock because that's not how the business operates. It's more of a showcase kind of thing. So it's going to be an unknown kind of thing. If I can walk away from Salute with a bit more interest in the Patreon and a couple of print sales, then I'll be happy. It's going to be more advertising Patreon, I think. It started off as like I'm doing for 3D prints, but as the last year has gone over, I'm like, no, I want to focus it on having a cool display, having a nice stand, and having something that people will walk past and kind of do a double take. That's what I'm aiming for. Is I want people to kind of go, "Oh, that's cool," and walk over to it, rather than it just look like another trade stand. So I've had disagreements with people in the past about how stands and stalls and displays should look. You know, there's a difference between making a trade stand look awesome and having it look like a car boot sale. And I very much want it to look awesome. You want to sell the display stuff you're bringing? To the display stuff. So the display stuff, in the cabinets. Basically, someone offers me a price that I'm happy with, then yeah. The frame dioramas that I'm taking, they will be for sale, and they will have a price tag, but a kind of make me an offer. If it's close to my price tag, I'll probably say yes. And there'll be a couple of things like the Kickstarter busts I want to keep, because those are the things that I really like personally. Then unless someone offers me stupid money, I won't part with. If someone wants to make me an offer on the display, as in like the sewers and the city and things like that, everything's got a price tag. It won't be advertised, but yeah, sure. Maybe have some questions like expert speed painter and 3D printer. Ask me questions. Yeah, so I'm gonna have I'm gonna make up a little video of some of the tutorials, like a quick snippet video of the tutorials that will be painted, that will have the content of the models that are on the diorama. So that's where the tutorials are available on Patreon, and it will just have like a little iPad showing that, kind of like a scrolling advert kind of thing, changing between some videos. And then it will just be chatting with people. Fortunately, I've got Bran and I've got Hedgehog there on the day, and they can help with sales through the print store, but also just chatting to people because they know the they know the crack with what I want to do. Deciding whether to sell your own stuff can be tough. It can be. There are a couple of frames that I have made to sell, and there are a couple that I have made and the price tag is higher because I'd be quite happy to keep them, but if someone offered me something, you know, substantial, then I would consider it. So the Cadian Trench one, the one that's based on the 3rd edition Codex, that frame, and the one that I did for Golden Demon with the Inquisitor, those ones have a slightly higher price tag than the others, purely because I like them and they're personal favourites of mine. Whereas the Goblin one, I kind of made with the idea of selling it at some point in the future. I really enjoy it, I really like it, but I'm less personally invested in that one. Pete, do you put much sentimental value in your stuff? I don't personally. I put more into the process of painting them, but there are 1 or 2 pieces I would think twice about. Yeah, and that would be those two. The Inquisitor one that I entered for Golden Demon, and even more than that, the Trench one. The Trench one, I'm really happy with how it turned out. But if someone came along and went, I'll offer you X amount for it, it's actually up. Is it for sale? Yes, it's actually up for sale. At, I don't think, unreasonable. Considering the effort and the amount of time and planning that went into it, it would probably be sitting at about minimum wage. But I'm aware that, you know, these things are hard to price. So price a bunch of Space Marines at around 600, but saw people charging 300 for single squad, so difficult to figure out. Yeah, exactly. I think I'm not selling these as commission prices. This is, and I've increasingly gone down this route of I'm creating a piece of art, and art is incredibly hard to price. I am going to price it at this. If the right person comes along, then great. If not, then here's the art, and you can just look at it. You know, that's where I'm coming from in regards to that. So, for example, and this is public knowledge anyway, because I think it's on eBay. I can't remember whether it's still on there. The trench diorama, the Imperial Guard 3rd edition Codex trench diorama, is between 300 and 350. Which I don't think is unreasonable. It's not going to be, but it would take the right person to come along and buy it. It's like Roman Lapart, or Lapper. I can never remember how to pronounce his second name. Prices his stuff at what I think is reasonable for quality art, but is more than you'd pay for a commission piece, because it's different. The piece has to speak to you, and if you have that kind of money and you are in the kind of art collector's world for miniatures, then it's kind of aimed at that kind of person. Verka's Vault is interested in my fairy, and I have no ideas what to price it at because I love her so much, and she represents a step up in my history. Don't shout. I think I know the one you're talking about. What is in Verko's is interested in buying it off you? Vanessa, drop me a message on Discord. I'd be intrigued to talk to you about that. Not as in me buying it. There's no way I can afford it, but I'd be interested in like having a discussion about pricing art. Senior prices for the box frames, I think they're more than they are more than reasonable. That's good to know, VT. It's good to. Do you think a lot of artists fall into underselling themselves? Yeah, I agree. because it's so hard to price. It's so hard to price. Like the goblin frame that I did, the squig and goblin frame. I would love the original price that I put that on was 900 because I priced it in relation to Roman's pricing and then reduced it. Like I reduced the prices. Now that's it. I'm trying not to compare our work, but like from a scale point of view, composition point of view, and kind of what it is, that's where I priced it. But that kind of thing, like I don't think it would sell at that. I don't. So I will drop the price down quite a lot. So it's very hard to price artwork. And then you've got a whole different load of people who don't consider miniature painting to be art, quote unquote. But also then you fall into the discussion of what is art, so which is a never-ending string. So yeah, it's a tricky one. Who knows? Romans is very reasonable, but I couldn't afford it. But art is not meant to be cheap. No, not at all. Yeah, and I agree. Romans for what it is and the effort that's gone into, incredibly reasonable. Considering you can buy paintings for starting at 10 grand and going all the way up into the millions. It's the art, what speaks to you as an art collector, what speaks to you as a more kind of general collector. It's a whole thing. That's why I really like places like Verco's Vault, which is it's a museum and it's also like an art gallery, and it's celebrating so many fantastic artists like Vanessa. I tend to calculate how many hours I put in as a commission painter, but it cannot be the same. No, I think it needs to be priced completely differently. If it's a commission piece, then it's done on like an hourly basis, or roughly a set framework. If you're creating a piece of artwork to sell, I think that has to play a factor into pricing it. And I think it's also worth looking at the idea of creating a collection like you would for a gallery. There's someone I was following on TikTok who runs a gallery over in Australia, and had very, very good advice for how you contact a gallery if you're an artist, how you price things, what to do at a gallery meeting. And this is very different for miniature painting stuff and things like that, but for canvas and sculpture and things like that. But it can fall into the same category. So I think there's something to be said for creating a collection of things with maybe a theme. And the advice that I was picking up on that was, let's say you create 10 pieces of art. If you sell all 10 pieces of art, then you price yourself too low. If you sell about half of them, then you've priced yourself exactly right. If you weirdly, you never want to sell all of your pieces of art in a collection, because if you did, you price yourself too low. So yeah, those that don't consider it art, it could be argued it's more of a craft. If we had that conversation, aren't the right audience anyway. Exactly. Even the people who want to get like an army commissioned, it's not that. Yeah, it's the wrong crowd. It's the people who look at one-off pieces and go, I like that. Or in regards to the Imperial Guard trench diorama, the ideal buyer for that would probably be someone who also knows exactly what that's from and has a kind of emotional reaction to that, because I made that because it was the first ever codex that I bought. That was my first ever 40k codex. That was very much at the beginning of my miniatures career, I guess, my life in the tabletop hobby. When I think I bought that codex when I was maybe 8 or 9, maybe even earlier than that. So I've got that connection to it, and that connection is what you need to have when you're buying something like that. You have to add more to account for the artiness of it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We've already, yes, I mean, Vertos has already got some of your stuff, isn't it? And I don't know about how they go about that. That's again, I'd be very intrigued to talk to you about that. And what I kind of understand what Verco's Vault is, but not entirely, because it's kind of they're kind of an art collector, aren't they? And that's what we need more of, really. Part of me wants to ditch commission painting and just do whatever I want. Yeah. I mean, I'm not really doing commission painting anymore, but it depends on how you're gonna earn money, really. If I can earn money through Patreon, which is the goal, then I can not spend any time in the print shop, bring that to a close, and just paint. And while I'm working on Patreon stuff, skills will naturally evolve, and I can work on personal projects that I would class as art to be sold. Commission painting, miniatures wise, it's such a hard gig to get right and not burn out. It's a really hard gig not to burn out on. What time are we at? 7:30, okay. Right, I know I can get at least one more done. Or one more up to this stage. I need to do the black. Thank you very much for the follow, Luke Newcomb. Much appreciated. But yeah, so that's kind of an ongoing discussion regarding selling art and that art being miniatures or dioramas or whatever, however you want to classify it. I think a big part of maybe a resistance to it is the fact that there's a game to it as well. I think I would have thought pieces like kind of busts and statues sell a lot more than gaming pieces, even if those pieces aren't meant for you can't game them because you'd ruin the painting of it. But does that make sense? Do you know what I mean? I don't know whether I'm just rambling. I probably am. Okay, so red. That red has dried up now in the palette, so we're going to add a little bit more in that. Let's grab you. So if we can get half of them up to kind of that stage, then I'm happy. No, so I don't know if I could trust social medias at the moment to support my name if I decided to take the leap. Yeah. It's so tough, and the social media at the moment is such a volatile world. What I have noticed is the viewership, interaction, and everything like that is way more on videos of the process than it is photos. Way more. Like, it's not even a competition for my stuff. Like, I will get maybe 100 likes. Let's say let's just take Instagram for example. For a photo of one of my models, I will get maybe a couple hundred likes on a model. But if I do that same model, but a video process of that model, it will be in the thousands. Like, it's not even a competition. Loads more interaction. So yeah, it depends on what your social media game is like, if I'm honest. Naffle views on video, views on photos. Yeah, I mean, I've got a system down with creating social media stuff, in regards to the Patreon, and I've got that. I've got into a rhythm of how I create that, which is useful. But also, it's that's all stuff for the Patreon, and I've tried doing it for a more arty type approach, but I find it stutters that approach. Like, sometimes when you're creating a diorama, you don't know what's going to happen. You haven't got anything planned out. You're just kind of going with it, and that's part of the magic of it, which is very hard to film and kind of produce content in that way, because it's just a different beast. It's just a different form of art. Imagine you'd have to just record your working and edit later, which is tough. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's not hard to record. The process isn't hard, but I mean, the advantage for me, for Patreon, like, I will record the whole process in an afternoon for painting one model, but because I'm working Speedpaints, it's very quick. If you're doing a load of blending, like wet blending, and over hours, it becomes much harder, because you just, that's not necessarily entertaining to watch. Like, if you want, if you're putting stuff out there, it's got to be quick, it's got to be entertaining. Like, you have to grab the audience's attention in 2 seconds. And a general rule of my videos is I won't, on the social media versions of the videos, I won't be painting the same section of the same model from the same angle any longer than, I think, 4 seconds for quick cut social media stuff. So for Instagram, TikTok, Xiaohongshu, everything else, Blue Sky and Threads. So if your content is or the piece that you're creating has got lots of wet blending that is hours and hours and hours on the same piece, it's just not entertaining wise. It might be incredible artwork, but it's just from a very quick viewer base, it's not entertaining. Luke Newcomb. Oh, I saw the subscription on YouTube. Thank you very much. Don't mind me subbing on YouTube as well. Looking for inspiration to get back into painting again. So any videos and whatnot's going to help. Amazing work from what I've seen. Thank you, Luke Newcomb. That's very kind of you. I appreciate the support. Welcome back into miniature painting. What are you working on anything in particular at the moment? Is there anything you'd like to see? I'm looking for inspiration, ideas, and content for the Patreon as well. That's where I'm putting a lot of my work. So what kind of thing are you working on? Danny, meanwhile, here we are literally watching paint. That's the other thing. It's crazy, isn't it? You're literally watching paint dry. That's the other part of it. But there is something kind of visually appealing to the painting process. You know, there's a reason why some painting videos on YouTube have millions of views. Those kind of visual AMSR videos, which I've got some of those, not with millions of views, but there's something very satisfying about it. And I think that's where Speedpaints in contrast kind of fill that gap nicely, because you can see the changes and the evolution of what you're working on quite quickly. Watching paint being applied then drying is quite yeah, it is. It's very relaxing. I think that's why with these newer streams I've swapped, even though I'm talking quite animatedly, the music swapped from kind of that indie rock vibe, or that kind of electronic dance stuff that I used to have, and all of the alerts and stuff like that going over the screen. It was very distracting from what can be a very relaxing thing to watch. So that's another actual reason why I wanted to change the content of my stream. That's why we've got lounge jazz piano going on in the background right now. That's why we've gotten rid of all the alerts and all the redeems and all the animations and things like that, and it's a lot more chilled now. You like the lounge feel? Yeah, thanks. Yeah. It's I honestly, I just don't have the energy for all the old stuff as well. Danny, I have to say I am a lot more likely to paint if I can hang out with you / other painters on Twitch. Yeah, that's the other thing. It can be a very social thing, especially when during lockdown, during COVID, when I started this, that's where it fit. That kind of doesn't sit within my realms of work now, and how I run and how I operate. But still 2 hours every Tuesday when I can. If people find that time to paint along, then great, absolutely. Luke Newcomb, I bought a fair few minis based on Final Fantasy and Resident Evil, but I've got a fair amount of D&D stuff that needs painting. I think I fell into the pit of, oh no, I've got too much to paint. I know exactly where you're coming from. I run a 3D print business for miniatures and tabletop stuff. So the ability to just go, I will just make that, I will just print it in a couple of hours, and then I have another model. They're up there. I'll just get it for you. That is full, and now dented my floor. That is full of 3D prints that I've printed with ideas of doing something with. That's one box of a lot. I have too much stuff. Random piece of terrain. So I know exactly what you mean. Yeah, that was the dragon. 15 boxes of unpainted stuff. Oh, that's just the 3D prints. That's not including the stuff that are like the boxed Warhammer stuff. All the models that I've printed for the web store, for products. So, yeah. I've been playing Space Marine 2 though, and fighting the urge to buy the starter set. Do it. More models. The shelf of forgotten toys. shelf, drawers. Over here, actually, hang on, I'll show you. So, it's Bailey Cam. Those are all full of models. All of those. Most of that is not the big one on the left, that's just art supplies, but everything else, the one to the left of that, sorry, the one to the right of that, that one there, that's full of 3D prints and just stuff on sprues, and that goes all the way up to the back of the cabinet. Everything else is either personal projects or models that have been printed for the web store as product photos. And I'd say maybe a tenth of it is painted, maybe 15%. Time to bring it salute. No, I did think about it. I did think about bringing just a box of goodies to salute, but I'd rather spend the time just chatting to people. And anything that's on the website, we can point people towards the website and they can make orders there and then. Also, I've only got a 6-foot stand, and I filled it. I have filled it with displays. I'd rather have displays and a kind of wow stand than have stock, because there's going to be a lot of stock there from a lot of different companies that are all have sales and deals on during the day. So I'd rather spend the time chatting to people, make legitimate connections and get to know people. Also, I really want to point people towards the Patreon and the video kind of and the painting side of things. So I'd rather spend that space on making more of a visual spectacle rather than having stock. Go Team, really useful box. Yeah, absolutely. They're the budget ones from Hobbycraft. Budget, really useful boxes. Box of raffle prizes. What I'll probably do is at the end of this year, assuming the Patreon, assuming my big plan works, then I will have a lot of models to get rid of. Some will go up in just batches on eBay. Some will maybe get donated to various clubs or whatever. There'll be stuff where I'll probably just end up binning it because it's just they're test prints or whatever, and just didn't work out for whatever reason. As much as I hate to throw away things, there will be definitely a bin bag of stuff. Okay, what time are we on? Alright, okay, we've got 10 minutes left, or 12 minutes left. Just enough time for me to do the gold and the black on this. And then that'll be half of the unit done. All the main kind of time-consuming things. The rest of it is just details that, on these models, can actually be quite quick. Which means tomorrow I might actually just focus on getting these done. The quicker I can just get the product product models done for the cabinets, the sooner I can move on to the models for the display. I might just have to bite the bullet and buy some more filament this evening. Just so I can get that printed and I can get it all, because I need to lay it all out and make sure it's what I have in my head works and makes sense. I'm fairly certain it does, but I won't know until it's right in front of me in physical form. The sooner I do that, the better. Okay. So that, a little bit of detail on the shield. Vanessa, I made the very important decision not to work this summer. No commission while my kid goes off to stay summer day camp, and I will try and do as much as possible for myself. Very, very, very good, Vanessa. Wholly support this. Wholly support making time for yourself, your own personal projects. Good for you. Legitimately good for you. That's a very good decision. Put too much pressure on ourselves, I believe. Okay, that's a beard ornament right there. Okay. And we'll just do the gold. We'll just do the black. Might double down on making videos or stream or something else, but it will be my yes, yeah. Oh no, I can't imagine that you wouldn't be painting at all, and that's it in that, you know, and creating content or whatever. But it's sometimes taking time out from kind of work life and having that time to give yourself a breathing space and figure out exactly how to do things. Honestly, that's what COVID did for me. Because for those of you who are, you know, veterans will know, I quit my job 2 months before the first lockdown of COVID, with the mindset of going into another industry, which didn't happen at all, or not, and I ended up not really wanting to go into it. But it gave, like, COVID gave me that opportunity, gave me that breathing space to go, okay, what do I want to do in the future? And I landed on this. So when the world stopped, it actually gave me the opportunity to start. Oh, I like that. I'll put it on a t-shirt. How hard is learning 3D sculpts? Yeah, I asked that question myself. Yep. It's hard. Harder than you think. It depends on like I'm not very good at it. I'll hold my hand up and go, no, I'm not very good at it. And I don't have the patience for it. I don't think I have the patience to learn it properly. And so I'd rather spend my effort somewhere else. But yes, it's not easy. Very poignant. Oh yeah, I thought so. Right. Okay. So it's 5 minutes to. I've got 5 of them up to the point where I can do the details. I'm really happy. Let's grab one. What's the best example of it? I think this one. No, that one. This is a really good example of how setting up the undershading for Speedpaints can affect the final result. because that, especially the top, less so down here, but especially on the top, that I think is quite a convincing non-metallic metal gold. But the steps created, there was only three, and could be done with 2. You know, the shine of the metal isn't actually coming through that much. So that was just setting the Gravelord Grey down in such a way that it would dry quite dark at this end and less on the edges, because that's just how speed paints work. And then assuming you've got that, you can see the difference between where it's pooled massively and gone quite dark and where it hasn't down here. So that's an example of how the tinting can really work to your advantage, much like on the side here of the helmet. Yeah. Speed paints are a lot of fun. Right, okay. Feels like I have a choice of between going back to school, different workplace, or learning sculpting. There are lots of online stuff, online courses for sculpting. Like Vite says, tablets. I got an iPad one of the reasons I got was to start 3D sculpting. I picked up on Nomad, and it was very intuitive. I just didn't give it enough time, and I didn't let it set in because I got distracted and bored. But that's a me thing. That's not a process thing. But yeah. Anyway, right. I'm gonna call it there. Mainly because I'm hungry, and I will be back next Tuesday, and probably painting more Chaos Dwarfs. I might move on to the Orcs. I need to double check whether the Orcs is the right choice, but I think it is for the display. But that being said, we'll call it there. Thank you very, very much to everyone who's come and hung out and had a really interesting chat about art and the processes and kind of living as an artist, I guess. What are we going to do? Well, I'm going to stop the YouTube stream because that's mainly a VOD thing. But anyone over on YouTube and anyone who has is watching the VOD, thank you very much. And I will bid you adieu now. Go and check out the Patreon. If you want to support the channel, that is the best possible way. Bye, YouTube. Bye.